A homeless family was found sleeping beside the Christmas tree in a luxury hotel lobby. The owner was about to throw them out. But when he looked closer at the mother's face, he froze. His hands started shaking. Why? What did he see? And what secret from his past was about to change everything? Sit back and find out as we dive into this shocking and heart-touching story. This is the story of a rich hotel owner named Benjamin and a homeless woman everyone ignored. It was Christmas Eve in Lagos. The Grand Meridian Hotel stood tall in Victoria Island like a king watching over the city. The building had 20 floors. Its glass windows shined under the streetlights. Inside, everything was perfect. The marble floors looked like mirrors. The chandeliers hanging from the ceiling sparkled like stars. Rich people walked in and out wearing expensive clothes and shiny shoes. Benjamin Okafor was the owner. He was 52 years old. His beard was gray at the edges. His suit was dark blue and looked very expensive. His shoes were polished until they gleamed. He wore a gold watch on his wrist that cost more than some people's houses. Benjamin had worked very hard to build this hotel. He started with nothing. Now he had everything. But tonight, something was about to happen that would change him forever. Benjamin stood in the center of the lobby, checking everything. Christmas was the biggest night of the year for his hotel. Everything had to be perfect. "Move that table to the left," he said to one of the staff. "Yes, sir," the man replied quickly. Benjamin walked around the giant Christmas tree in the middle of the lobby. It was 15 feet tall. Green and gold ornaments hung from every branch. White lights blinked slowly. A golden star sat at the top. The tree cost him 2 million naira. But it was worth it. It made the hotel look beautiful. He looked at his manager, a short man named Mr. Collins. "How many guests are checking in tonight?" Benjamin asked. 42, sir," Mr. Collins replied. "All the suites are fully booked." Benjamin nodded. "Good. Make sure the kitchen is ready." "I don't want any delays." "Yes, sir." A woman in an expensive red dress walked past. She smiled at Benjamin. He smiled back politely. These were his customers. Rich businessmen, politicians, celebrities. They paid thousands of naira just to sleep in his hotel for one night. Everything was going smoothly. The hotel smelled like cinnamon and fresh flowers. Soft Christmas music played from hidden speakers. Outside, car horns honked. People shouted. Lagos was loud as always. But inside the hotel it was calm, quiet, controlled. Benjamin walked toward the elevator. He was about to go upstairs to his private office when his phone rang. It was the head of security, a tall man named Grayson. "Sir, we have a situation." Benjamin stopped walking. His face became serious. "What kind of situation?" "There's a woman in the lobby, sir. She came in with 2 children. They're sleeping beside the Christmas tree." Benjamin's jaw tightened. "Sleeping? What do you mean sleeping?" "I mean they're on the floor, sir. Right beside the tree. They look homeless. We tried to wake them, but the woman begged us not to send them out into the cold. She said it's just for one night. She said her children are hungry and tired." Benjamin closed his eyes. He took a deep breath. "I'm coming down." He ended the call and walked quickly back to the lobby. His shoes made sharp sounds on the marble floor. Mr. Collins saw him and followed. When Benjamin reached the Christmas tree, he stopped. There, curled up on the floor, was a woman and 2 small children. The woman was thin. Very thin. Her clothes were torn and dirty. Her head was covered with an old brown scarf that had holes in it. Beside her, a little girl and a little boy slept quietly. The girl looked about 6 years old. The boy looked 4. Their faces were peaceful, but their clothes told a different story. The girl's dress was too small for her. The boy's shirt had no buttons. 2 security guards stood nearby, waiting for orders. They looked uncomfortable. Benjamin stared at them. His face showed no emotion. "Sir, should we escort them out?" one of the guards asked. Benjamin didn't answer right away. He just kept looking at the woman. Something about her felt familiar, but he couldn't place it. How long have they been here? Benjamin asked. About 30 minutes, sir, Grayson replied. They came in when the front desk was busy. By the time we noticed them, they were already asleep. Benjamin crossed his arms. Some of the hotel guests were staring now. A man in a white agbada whispered something to his wife. A young woman took out her phone like she wanted to record what was happening. Sir, we need to remove them, Mr. Collins said quietly. This is making our guests uncomfortable. Benjamin looked around the lobby. Everyone was watching, waiting to see what he would do. He was about to nod when the woman woke up. She must have heard the voices. Slowly, she lifted her head. Her eyes were red and tired. She looked scared. Her eyes met Benjamin's. And that's when everything stopped. Benjamin's heart skipped. His mouth opened slightly. His hands began to shake. He took a step closer, looking at her face more carefully. He knew that face. No, he whispered. The woman looked confused. She pulled her children closer, like she was protecting them. She didn't recognize him. But Benjamin recognized her. His mind flashed back. 25 years ago. A different life. A different Benjamin. He was just a boy then. 12 years old. His parents had died in a car accident on the Lagos-Ibadan expressway. He had no uncles. No aunties. No one came to claim him. He lived on the streets of Lagos, begging for food. Every day, he would sit near the bus stop in Yaba, hoping someone would give him something to eat. Most people ignored him. Some laughed. Some spat on the ground near him. One man even kicked him once and told him to find work. But there was one woman. A woman who sold food from a small wooden stall near the bus stop. Her stall was old and shaky. She sold rice, beans, and fried yam. The stall had a small bench where people sat to eat. She had kind eyes. Every evening, when she was about to close, she would call him over. Come, my son, she would say. Come and eat. She gave him rice. She gave him beans. She gave him yam. She never asked for money. She never made him feel ashamed. She would serve him a full plate, the same way she served her paying customers. One day, a customer saw her feeding Benjamin and said, Madam, why are you wasting food on this street boy? He will never amount to anything. The woman looked at the customer and replied, If I don't feed him, who will? Today he is a street boy. Tomorrow God may make him something great. The customer laughed and walked away. But the woman kept feeding Benjamin. Every single day. For 3 years. Why do you always feed me? Benjamin asked her one evening. She smiled and said, Because if I was the one sitting there with no food, wouldn't I want someone to help me too? Her name was Nora. Benjamin never forgot her. When he finally got help from a pastor who took him to an orphanage, he promised himself that one day he would find Nora and repay her kindness. But years passed. He searched for her several times after he became successful. He went back to Yaba, but her stall was gone. No one knew where she went. He thought she had moved to another city. Or maybe she had died. And now, 25 years later, she was lying on the floor of his hotel. Benjamin's chest felt tight. His eyes became wet. His hands were still shaking. Nora, he whispered. The woman looked at him again. Her face was confused. She wiped her eyes with the edge of her scarf. Do I know you? She asked softly. Her voice was weak and tired. Benjamin swallowed hard. He couldn't speak. He just stared at her. His security guards looked at each other, confused. Mr. Collins stepped closer. Sir, should we? No, Benjamin said sharply. His voice was firm. Don't touch them. The guards looked at each other, surprised. Mr. Collins frowned. Sir, but I said no, Benjamin repeated. His voice was louder this time. Nobody touches them. Everyone in the lobby went silent. Even the Christmas music seemed quieter. Benjamin knelt down slowly. His knees touched the cold marble floor. He didn't care that his expensive suit was getting dirty. He looked into Nora's eyes. "It's me," he said quietly. "Benjamin. The boy you used to feed at your stall in Yaba. The one with no shoes who sat at the bus stop every day." Nora's eyes widened. Her lips began to shake. She stared at him like she was seeing a ghost. "Benjamin," she whispered. "The small boy with torn clothes? The one who used to help me carry water?" Benjamin nodded. Tears rolled down his face. He didn't try to hide them. "Yes," he said. "That was me." Nora covered her mouth with both hands. Her whole body started shaking. Tears filled her eyes and poured down her cheeks. You're the owner of this hotel?" she asked. Her voice was breaking. Benjamin nodded again. "Yes." Nora began to cry. Not small tears. Big, heavy tears. She covered her face with her hands. Her shoulders shook. "I didn't know," she said between sobs. "I didn't know it was you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bring shame to your hotel. Please forgive me." Benjamin reached out and gently touched her shoulder. "Shame? No, Nora. You brought me blessing. You are the reason I'm standing here today." The people watching in the lobby were completely silent now. Some of them had tears in their eyes too. Benjamin looked at Nora closely. She looked so different from the woman he remembered. Back then, she was strong and healthy. She had energy. She smiled all the time. Now her face was thin. Her eyes looked tired. Her hands were rough and cracked. "What happened to you?" he asked softly. "Where is your food stall? Where is your family?" Nora wiped her eyes with the edge of her old scarf. She looked down at her children, who were still sleeping. "After my husband died 5 years ago," she said quietly, "everything fell apart. He was a bus driver. One day, his bus had an accident on a shoddy road. He died instantly." Benjamin's face became sad. "I'm so sorry," Nora continued. "After he died, I tried to keep the food stall going. But the government demolished it. They said we were blocking the road. They gave us no warning. Just came one morning with bulldozers and destroyed everything." She paused. Her voice was shaking. "I had no money to start again. I tried to find work, but no one would hire me. People said I was too old, too slow. I sold everything I had just to feed my children. Our rent finished. The landlord threw us out. We've been living under the bridge near Olulegba for 3 months now." She looked up at Benjamin. Her face was full of shame and pain. "Today was so cold," she said. "My children were shivering. I saw your hotel and I thought maybe we could just sit in the warm lobby for a few hours. Just until morning. I didn't mean to fall asleep. I was just so tired." Benjamin shook his head. His jaw was tight. His eyes were red. He couldn't believe that the woman who saved his life was now suffering like this. "You gave me food when you had nothing," he said. His voice was breaking. "You didn't know me. You didn't know if I would ever repay you. But you still gave. Every single day." He stood up slowly. He looked at Grayson and the other guards. "Call housekeeping," he said. "Prepare the royal suite, now." The guards looked shocked. Their mouths fell open. "Sir?" Grayson said. "You heard me," Benjamin said firmly. "The royal suite, and tell the kitchen to prepare a full meal. Everything. Jollof rice, fried chicken, moi moi. Plantain, salad, drinks, everything. Make it fast." Mr. Collins stepped forward. His face showed confusion. "Sir, the royal suite is reserved for the governor. He's arriving tomorrow morning." "Then move him to another suite," Benjamin said, looking him in the eye. "This woman is my guest. She will stay in the best room we have. Is that clear?" Mr. Collins swallowed. "Yes, sir. Very clear. And Collins," Benjamin added. "If anyone has a problem with it, tell them to come and see me." "Yes, sir." Nora tried to stand, but her legs were weak. She hadn't eaten properly in days. Benjamin reached down and helped her up. She was so light. Too light. The little girl woke up and started crying. "Mama, where are we?" she asked, holding her mother's hand tightly. Nora held her close. "It's okay, my love. Everything is okay now." Benjamin looked at the little boy who was also waking up. He rubbed his eyes with his small fists. He had big, sleepy eyes. "What's your name?" Benjamin asked gently, kneeling down to the boy's level. "Daniel," the boy said softly. "And you?" Benjamin asked the girl. "Naomi," she replied, still holding her mother's hand tightly. She looked scared. Benjamin smiled for the first time. "Daniel, Naomi, those are beautiful names. Welcome to my hotel. You are my special guest tonight." Daniel looked around the big lobby. His mouth opened wide. "Is this a palace?" he asked. Some of the people watching smiled. Even Mr. Collins couldn't help but smile a little. "Yes," Benjamin said. "It's a palace. And tonight, you are the prince and princess." Two staff members came with a wheelchair. They wanted Nora to sit, but she shook her head. "I can walk," she said. "I don't want to trouble anyone." "Please," Benjamin said kindly. "Let them help you. You're weak. You need rest." Nora looked at him. She saw the concern in his eyes. Slowly, she sat down in the wheelchair. Benjamin led the way to the elevator. People in the lobby were still watching. Some were whispering to each other. Some were taking photos with their phones, but Benjamin didn't care. As they entered the elevator, one of the guests, a man in an expensive suit, said loudly, "Is this hotel now accepting beggars?" Benjamin stopped. He turned around slowly. His eyes met the man's eyes. "This woman," Benjamin said clearly, "is worth more than everyone in this lobby combined, including you." The man's face became red. He looked down and said nothing. The elevator doors closed. Inside, Naomi looked up at Benjamin. "Uncle, are you really the owner?" she asked. "Yes," Benjamin said. "But why are you being so nice to us?" she asked. "Mama says rich people don't like poor people." Benjamin knelt down again so he was at her level. "Your mama is wrong about that," he said gently. "Some rich people forgot where they came from, but I didn't forget. Your mama saved my life when I was your age. Now it's my turn to save hers." When they reached the 18th floor, the doors opened. The royal suite was at the end of the hall. The carpet was thick and red. The walls had gold designs. Everything looked expensive. Benjamin opened the door himself. Inside, the room looked like something from a dream. Naomi gasped. Her eyes were so wide. "Mama, is this heaven?" she asked. Nora's lips trembled. She couldn't speak. She just looked around in shock. Her hands covered her mouth. Benjamin smiled. "No, my dear, this is your room. For as long as you need it." Nora looked at him. Tears started flowing again. "Benjamin, I can't accept this. It's too much. This room must cost so much money." Benjamin shook his head. "You gave me life when I had nothing. Now it's my turn." Just then, 3 staff members entered with trays of food. The smell filled the room immediately. There was jollof rice, fried chicken, moi moi wrapped in leaves, fried plantain, garden salad, orange juice, apple juice, water. Everything looked fresh and delicious. They placed the food on the glass table. Daniel's eyes grew wide. He had never seen so much food in one place. Naomi couldn't stop staring. Her mouth was open. "Eat," Benjamin said gently. "As much as you want. And if you finish, I'll bring more." Nora put her hands together. She closed her eyes and whispered a prayer. "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for sending this angel to us. Bless him, Lord. Bless him abundantly." Then she served the children. They ate like they hadn't seen food in days. Because they hadn't. The last meal they had was 2 days ago. Someone had given them one piece of bread to share. Daniel ate the chicken with both hands. Naomi drank the orange juice so fast that some spilled on her dress, but she didn't care. It tasted like the best thing she had ever drunk in her life. Benjamin stood by the door watching. His heart felt full, but also heavy. He couldn't believe this was the same woman who had saved his life. The woman who told him he would become something great one day. After they finished eating, Nora turned to him. Her eyes were still wet. "Thank you," she said. Her voice was quiet, but strong. "You didn't have to do this. We would have been fine under the bridge." Benjamin shook his head. "No, you wouldn't have been fine. And I did have to do this, because you did it for me first." He paused. Then he said, "Get some rest tonight. Take a bath. Sleep on a real bed. Tomorrow we'll talk about what comes next." Nora nodded. "Okay." Benjamin turned to leave, but Daniel ran up to him and hugged his leg. "Thank you, Uncle Benjamin," the boy said. Benjamin bent down and hugged him back. His eyes became wet again. "You're welcome, little man." He left the room and closed the door softly. He stood in the hallway for a long moment, staring at the door. His heart was beating fast. He felt something he hadn't felt in years. Purpose. Real purpose. He walked to the elevator. When he reached his office, he sat down in his chair and stared out the window at the city lights. Lagos looked beautiful from up here. Peaceful, even though he knew it wasn't. His phone rang. It was Mr. Collins. "Sir, the other guests are asking questions." They saw what happened in the lobby. "Some of them want to know why you gave that family the royal suite." "Let them ask," Benjamin said. "I don't owe anyone an explanation." "Yes, sir. Also, sir, that was a very kind thing you did." Benjamin smiled a little. "Thank you, Collins." "Good night, sir." "Good night." Benjamin ended the call. He leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes. Memories flooded his mind. Nora's smile. Her voice. The way she used to say, "Come, my son, come and eat." That night he didn't sleep much. He kept thinking about Nora. About the boy he used to be. About how life had turned everything upside down. But he also thought about tomorrow. Because he wasn't going to stop at just giving her a room. No, he was going to change her life completely. The next morning, Christmas Day, Benjamin woke up early. The sun was just rising over Lagos. He put on a simple white shirt and black trousers. No suit, no tie, no expensive watch. Just simple clothes. He went straight to the royal suite and knocked gently on the door. Nora opened it. She looked completely different. She had bathed. Her hair was clean and combed. She wore a hotel robe that was too big for her, but she looked comfortable. Her face looked fresher. Her eyes had life in them again. "Good morning," Benjamin said. "Good morning," Nora replied. She looked nervous. "Benjamin, thank you for everything." "We'll leave soon. I don't want to trouble you anymore." "Leave?" Benjamin said. "No, you're not going anywhere. Not yet." Nora looked confused. "But, can I come in?" Benjamin asked. She nodded and stepped aside. The children were still asleep on the big bed. They looked so peaceful. Benjamin smiled when he saw them. He and Nora sat by the window. Lagos was quieter than usual. It was Christmas morning. Many people were in church or at home with their families. Benjamin looked at her. His face was serious but kind. "Nora, I want to help you. Not just for one night. I want to change your life." Nora's eyes filled with tears. "Benjamin, you've already done so much. I can never repay you." "I don't want you to repay me," Benjamin said firmly. "I want to do for you what you did for me. You gave me hope when I had none. You gave me food when I was starving. You made me believe I was worth something." He leaned forward. "Do you still know how to cook?" Nora nodded. "Yes, it's the one thing I never forgot. Even under the bridge, I used to dream about cooking again." "About having my own stall." Benjamin smiled. "Good, because I don't want to give you just a stall. I want to give you a restaurant." Nora's mouth fell open. Her hands gripped the arms of the chair. "A restaurant?" "Yes," Benjamin said. "I own a building in Lekki. It's been empty for 2 years. I bought it planning to open another hotel, but I never did. I'll renovate it. I'll buy all the equipment you need. Gas cookers, Ovens, fridges, deep freezers, everything. I'll hire staff to help you. And you will be the owner. Nora shook her head. Tears poured down her face. Benjamin, I can't. I don't have money to pay you back. How will I? I'm not asking you to pay me back, Benjamin said. His voice was soft but serious. You gave me food when you had nothing. You didn't ask me for anything. You just gave because you had a good heart. Now I'm doing the same. Nora covered her face and cried, not sad tears, happy tears. Her whole body shook with emotion. Why? She whispered through her tears. Why are you doing this for me? Benjamin's eyes became wet again. He reached out and held her hand. Because kindness is never wasted, he said. You planted a seed in my life 25 years ago. You didn't know that seed would grow. But it did. Now I'm watering the seed you planted. Nora looked up at him. She squeezed his hand. Thank you, she said. Thank you, Benjamin. God will bless you. He will bless you beyond measure. Benjamin smiled. He already has. He brought you back to me. For the next 3 months, Nora and her children stayed in the hotel. Benjamin gave them everything they needed. Clothes, shoes, school uniforms for the children. He enrolled Daniel and Naomi in one of the best schools in Lagos. Nora even started helping in the hotel kitchen. At first, she was shy. But the other cooks loved her. She taught them how to make the best jollof rice. She showed them how to fry plantain until it was perfect. The head chef, a man named Chef Williams, said, Madam Nora, your food tastes like home. Like love, Nora smiled. That's because I cook with my heart, she said. And then, one Saturday morning in March, Benjamin called Nora to his office. She knocked on the door nervously. Come in, Benjamin said. Nora entered. Benjamin was standing by the window with a big smile on his face. It's ready, he said. What's ready? Nora asked. Your restaurant. Nora's hands flew to her mouth. Her eyes became wide. That afternoon, Benjamin drove Nora and her children to Lekki. As they drove through the streets, Nora's heart was beating fast. She couldn't believe this was happening. When they arrived, Nora looked out the car window and gasped. The building was beautiful. It had big glass windows that reflected the sun. The walls were painted cream and gold. There were flowers planted at the entrance. And there was a big sign at the top that said in bold letters, Nora's Kitchen, home of love and good food. Nora got out of the car slowly. Her legs felt weak. She walked toward the entrance like she was in a dream. She couldn't stop staring at the sign with her name on it. Benjamin walked beside her. He pulled out a set of keys from his pocket. These are yours, he said, placing them in her hand. Nora held the keys. They felt heavy, real. She looked at Benjamin with tears in her eyes. Benjamin opened the door. Inside, everything was perfect. There were 20 tables with clean white tablecloths. Chairs with soft cushions. The floor was made of shiny tiles. There were lights on the ceiling that looked like stars. The walls had paintings of African women cooking. Everything smelled fresh and new. Daniel and Naomi ran around excitedly. Mama, this is yours, Naomi shouted. Benjamin led Nora to the kitchen at the back. When she saw it, her mouth fell open. There were 6 gas cookers, 3 big ovens, 4 deep freezers, 2 big refrigerators, rows of clean pots and pans hanging on the wall, a big sink, counters made of marble. And in the corner, there were white uniforms with Nora's Kitchen written on them. Nora turned slowly to look at Benjamin. Her eyes were completely full of tears. They spilled down her cheeks. This is mine, she asked. Her voice was shaking. Benjamin nodded. Yes, all yours. Nora couldn't stand anymore. She fell to her knees right there in the kitchen. She covered her face with both hands and cried. Not quiet tears. Loud, heavy sobs. Daniel and Naomi ran to her and hugged her. Mama, don't cry, Daniel said. These are happy tears, my son, Nora said, holding them close. These are very happy tears. Benjamin knelt beside her. He put his hand on her shoulder. You fed me when you had nothing, he said quietly. Now I'm giving you something so you'll never be hungry again. So your children will never be hungry again. Nora looked up at him. Her face was wet with tears, but she was smiling. I will never forget this, Benjamin, she said. Never. As long as I live, I will remember what you did for me. And I will never forget what you did for me, Benjamin replied. This story teaches us one powerful lesson. Kindness is never wasted. You may not have much, but when you give from a pure heart, your reward will find you when you least expect it. Help someone today. You don't know how that small act might change their entire life. What did this story teach you? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. I would really love to read from you. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your time and support. See you in the next story.